Strong results, but you would expect that from Titagarh, and it was expected, and therefore I will say it's an inline quarter, but there was a margin surprise, presumably because of a better private wagon mix, leading to the margin number being higher at 12.3% versus 9% YOY and 11.7% QOQ. Umesh Chowdhary Johnson to talk about the quarter gone by and the outlook for the second half. Umesh, good having you. Thanks for joining in. Suffice to say, you'll be happy with the numbers?
Absolutely. We are, I would not call it happy, but we are definitely satisfied. And, I think that we still have a, strong, very robust order book, which even with the current performance numbers goes on for several years, almost 3-4 years. So we need to now further ramp up, and that's what we are trying to do.
Got it. When I was there at one of your facilities about a couple of months ago, Umesh, you had spoken about the point that there could be a higher private wagon contribution, which could lead to better margins in a particular quarter, and it may change in some other quarters too. Now, just tell us, what was it essentially private wagon mix leading to the better margins this quarter? And would you reckon that these numbers are sustainable? Would you have the market believe that, or would you take it quarter by quarter?
No, the private mix and the railway mix keeps on changing on a quarter by quarter basis. And, while I've always guided that a 10%, maybe now because of more efficiency, higher volumes, 11%, 11.5% is a more sustainable EBITDA level for our freight wagon business. Then, on certain quarters, it can be better. On certain quarters, it can be a dip. But on a longer period, I would say, let's say over an 8 to 12 quarter horizon, that is the guidance that I would like to give. Having said that, for the next few quarters, since we have a stronger order book from private sector also, maybe we are able to keep up a slightly better EBITDA margin. But I would not say that there is a shift in the EBITDA levels of the industry per se. It would continue to be in that 11% range.
Which is fine. And because I hope you get that message. I mean, a quarter, there could be a bit of a disappointment downwards because of more railway wagons, who knows? But this is the point that I think the management is saying. 11% on average is the kind of margin that people should anticipate. Now that the margin picture is out of the way, Umesh, let's talk about numbers. We spoke about this monthly delivery numbers as well, and there too you had said that there could be volatility here and there. But a point that I read in one of the notes is that as of August, at least, the data that had come out, you're delivering about 400 to 450 wagons on average of the last 6 months, which is way lower than the capacity that you have created already and probably creating more. So tell us, how does this picture shape up over the course of the second half and over the course of the next 18 months?
So I'm not aware of this note, but what we have been delivering on an average is around 600, 650 wagons. We've gone up to cross 700, in fact. So we've gone up to 750, also 730, something around that. So we are in the range of around 600 to 700, I would say. And the target is to get to 1,000 wagons per month, which we are on track to be able to reach by the end of this financial year.
Got it. Okay, so I stand corrected there, and thank you for that. The other point is, what about the capacities that you are simultaneously creating? Because we were in a capacity where we did the show, wherein you were setting up a lot of things, and it was a large area out there. So that plus some of the others that you might be setting up, what's the plan thereof?
So the facility that you saw, Neeraj, is the one that we are doing the passenger coaches, and the other plant is the freight wagon. So in the passenger coach, we are setting up, as you saw, 2 separate distinct production lines. One will cater to the metro coach, one will cater to the Vande Bharat. Both will have an independent capacity of 30-35 coaches per month. So that's total about 70 coaches a month. It will take at least 3.5 years to be fully operational. I mean, the full capacity to be available for utilization. But there will be a continuous ramp up that will happen from an existing 3-6 coaches per month. We will go to about 20 coaches next year, and so on.
Got it. Okay. Umesh, what about order flows? I think the market is spoiled by listening about you guys bagging one large order after another almost every second month odd. I haven't heard too much in the last couple of months. So what's happening there?
In the last couple of months, we got Surat, we got Ahmedabad.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, fair call. You did. Okay, so I heard you mention that your order book is looking strong enough for the next 4 years, which is a great position to be in. But having spoken to you extensively over the last 1 year, you are constantly looking to add new feathers, newer verticals, newer things to your cap. So tell us what's happening with the Wheels JV, what's happening with some of the other JVs that you've clicked in, and what's happening on the international front.
So as far as the Wheel JV is concerned, it is quite well on track. We should be able to get production within the schedule, or maybe a few weeks or months ahead of schedule. In terms of the other big focus that we have is now backward integrate ourselves. So we are looking at opportunities to do more and more components that we use for our own train production. And that is something that will be not something that can be done overnight, but it will take a little while. So we are in the stage of planning that, discussion with different stakeholders and potential technology providers. So lots happening in the space. So basically the whole idea, the whole strategy is that we are in the center of the railway systems. That's how we have rechristened ourselves. And we want to orbit around that space, both in terms of forward integration for the services like we are doing for the Vande Bharat, and backward integrate in terms of components. So capturing the value in this space is what our focus is going to be.
Perfect. Viewers, and if you want to know more details about the long-term plans, I urge you look at that interview wherein we went on site and spoke to Umesh. Here, we'll try and talk about the here and now. A final couple of questions, Umesh. Are things looking good for the O&D quarter? Because at the end of quarter one, you had spoken some inkling about quarter two also looking reasonably strong, and I think it's come out that way. Now, how are the things looking for quarter three or the second half as the case? Maybe you've given some numbers about reaching the 1,000 wagons per month mark by the end of quarter four, which is fine. But what happens to other operational metrics? What happens to margins? What happens to order inflows? What happens to other attempts?
So I think that the order inflows will continue to be strong, Neeraj, because the railways are growing. The railways are well on their way to reach the 3 billion mark. I would say even before 2030. The bottlenecks that were there in the railway system are being cleared. And in order to understand how our business will do, I think it's very important to understand what the government is doing with the infrastructure. And the government is doing lots with the infrastructure. So, we are basically piggybacking on the good work that the Prime Minister and the Railway Minister and the entire government of India is actually doing. We are kind of taking the credit for that.
That's very generous. But no, you guys are doing good work, which is always good to know. So you believe the momentum continues well into quarter three and quarter four as well, both on the
Absolutely.
Order inflow as well as on the execution side.
Absolutely.
Okay. Last question, Umesh. You've got some fairly marquee investors. I believe the order inflow is, as you said, looking strong. Do you foresee any kind of need to raise money in the next 6 months?
We've not actually planned anything as of now, but we are growing, and if there are requirements, there are opportunities. Then, based on the business requirements, the board will take a call. But nothing that we have kind of decided or announced or finalized as of this point.
Great, but congratulations on a strong quarter, and thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much, and viewers, thanks for tuning in.